At the zoo, you can not only gaze at wild animals and learn a lot about them, but also have fun watching the antics, behavior, and fails of the local inhabitants. From fashionable orangutans and tricks with a macaque to falls of a lion and a rhino, and the conflict between a goose and a giraffe. In this episode, I'll show you these and many other funny and unusual zoo animal moments caught on camera. Let's go. Let's start with these two beautiful lions. They're just wandering around their enclosure, having a good time, but then one of them saw something in the distance. The predator stared, stumbled, and fell into the water. With discontented face, it swam to the exit, while its congener was worried so much about it. It wanted to help, but it didn't know how. But that's okay, the clumsy lion handled the situation itself. Apparently, it wasn't the first time it had fallen in the water, as it swam so confidently to the exit. While friendship reigns in some cages, conflicts arise in others. But of course, those conflicts are humorous. Today, we have a kind video after all. This enclosure is shared by a gibbon and a porcupine. Not the most obvious choice of neighborhood, is it? Besides, the porcupine doesn't like this neighbor at all. The cocky and mischievous gibbon every now and then provokes, teases, and annoys it, running over and poking its quills. Well, then, as befits a bully, it runs away from the evil, thorny creature. The porcupine is not so adept at climbing trees, so it has to endure these antics. Generally speaking, primates in zoos are the main purveyors of hilarious moments and situations. Just look at this actor. An orangutan asks for food like no other. It shows with its pose and appearance that the visitor is obliged to share his tasty food with it. And when the orangutan gets nothing, it just continues to stand there proudly. I don't know about you, but I'd give this Oscar-winning actor something to eat, unless of course it's forbidden by the rules. Primates like more than just acting, they also love magic tricks. A visitor shows the monkey a simple trick where an object disappears. Just look at the macaque's funny reaction. It's in total shock. The monkey doesn't understand what just happened and what kind of magic it was. The trick is repeated to the animal, and it runs around the enclosure again in amazement. It also turns back as if to say to its congeners, "Did you all see that?" Or maybe the primate understood everything perfectly well and was just kidding, playing off such a reaction to amuse people. After all, we already know what acting talents primates have. It feels like this rhino was just waiting for someone with a camera to come up to it. Why? Well, see for yourself. As soon as it saw that it was being filmed, it turned around and showed everyone the power of its intestinal. It must have been its way of expressing its dissatisfaction with its confinement. Actually, the visitors were lucky they didn't encounter a hippo. These big guys don't mind doing something like that in front of the audience either. Only, unlike rhinos, they also twirl their tail at this moment, spreading everything in all directions. In general, it's better not to get close to hippos, even in zoos. I would also advise you not to approach baboons. Well, or at least you should not annoy them and piss them off, as the two girls in this video did. They walk near the enclosure where the baboon is sitting and try to get its attention. First they call out to it, then they start teasing it, and then they throw rocks at it. At first, the baboon tolerated and didn't react, but there's a limit. The baboon got angry, started hitting the bars, screaming, and then threw feces at the girls and the cameraman, who happened to be their father. The moment was both funny and instructive. Although the rest was spoiled, people learned that it was better not to mess with baboons. Primates in general like to throw things at zoo visitors, but then again, they only do it in retaliation. The man with the banana mimicked the female orangutan's gestures, then he threw it a banana after all. It seemed as if they could part ways, but then the orangutan showed it wouldn't mind some more food. The man defiantly refused and immediately came under fire. The primate picked up a stone and threw it at the greedy zoo visitor. Then the female orangutan also threw a peel at him, and after another unsuccessful attempt to get a dainty, it threw another rock at the man. In general, both behaved badly here. The man could give a second banana, and the primate could calm down about its appetite. But in any case, the moment was amusing and unusual. Primates in general are pretty tough creatures. This primate in the enclosure decided to attack the guy who was standing behind the glass. The monkey climbs on the rope and starts spinning around. It does a few confident turns, jumps on the guy, and of course it crashes into the glass. It was preparing the attack so confidently, but eventually got into a ridiculous situation. Okay, let's stop with the primates for a moment and look at other animals. For example, bears. In general, bears, as well as other animals in enclosures, are a sad sight. But these animals are not sad. Look at their crazy dance. They move in time with the wave and delight visitors, though maybe they were just training and squatting. Who knows? Either way, the moment was funny. You should never miss opportunities, especially if you're an animal at the zoo. Here, a family was feeding carrots to another family, a family of goats, only they'd all forgotten that there was an ostrich pen behind them. The giant bird cunningly seized the moment and stole the dainty. The ostrich got even more than it wanted. The girl scattered everything on the ground, and now the bird had a free snack. Some steal from visitors, and some steal from their own relatives. This footage shows an orangutan eating a banana. By the way, could that be the female orangutan that was throwing rocks? We now know that it has a special love for bananas. Anyway, all of a sudden a little monkey came up to it and tried to snatch the banana right out of its mouth. The giant orangutan didn't tolerate this and immediately grabbed the little monkey and started squeezing it so much that the monkey squealed. But don't worry, it was just an educational moment, and the little monkey was all right in the end. Sometimes curiosities are born literally on the spot. This rhino decided to run somewhere but lost its balance, slipped, and amusingly fell on its side, after which it also rolled. The conjurer went to help it, but the clumsy rhino got up on its own. Nothing bad happened. Once again, we're back to primates. I'm sorry, but I said right off the bat that they're the main purveyors of hilarious moments and situations. This orangutan is another proof of that. The female saw that a visitor had accidentally dropped her sunglasses in its enclosure and decided that the item should not go to waste. It picked up the sunglasses and began to try them on. At first it couldn't figure out how to put them on, but soon it found the perfect position. Upside down on the bridge of its nose. For a short time, the primate became the most fashionable creature in the whole zoo. The accessory really suited it. However, it quickly got bored with the sunglasses, so it threw them to the rightful owner in exchange for a treat. And here is another primate of fashion. Of course, once again, this is an orangutan. It doesn't need glasses, but it does want a jacket. It defiantly unzipped it and tried to take it off the guy. The guy helped the animal. He had no choice. How could he leave the primate without such a cool thing? So the orangutan tries on the jacket and everyone laughs because it just threw it on itself. But wait, a couple of seconds pass and the primate expertly puts the jacket on as if it had been wearing it all its life. Maybe the jacket doesn't fit the animal a little bit, but it looks great anyway. Some spend their free time in the enclosure trying on fancy clothes, and some just spin around nonstop. If you don't know what it is, it's an otter. It seems that it's come up with something for itself to do all day. The video goes on and it still doesn't stop. How long do you think it's been hanging out like this? Do you know what a kiss from a giraffe is? I don't think so, but this girl does. She gave the giant some goodies and it licked her in gratitude. What an unforgettable experience and great footage to remember. It seems these geese also wanted the giraffe to kiss them, but the giant wasn't in the mood. It even almost hit one of the geese with its hoof. The latter didn't like it and decided to give the giraffe a beating. The goose flew up and tried to bite the giraffe, but the latter didn't know how to protect itself from the impertinent bird. At first, the giraffe took it as a joke, but eventually the goose pecked it so badly that the giant started running away from it. Literally. See for yourself. This man came to the petting zoo expecting just to look at elephants. He certainly didn't think he'd have to take part in a wrestling match. Check out this little elephant's technique. It's very competent at pushing its opponent, blocking his leg, and generally doing everything perfectly in terms of positions. This is a clean victory for the wrestler with a trunk. Polar bears are powerful and majestic animals. In the wild, they certainly are, but in captivity, they can look funny and even ridiculous. This bear was hesitant to jump into the water, swaying funny and seemingly about to take off into the sky. But here, the predator finally jumps right in front of the visitors, making a whole show. And finally, let's take a look at an unusual video from the zoo. It features an octopus, a very big one. See for yourself. The mollusk climbed onto the glass of the enclosure and even hung its tentacles out from the visitor side. So far, they're absolutely delighted. They just don't know yet that the octopus is planning a real escape. Soon it climbs over the barrier and smacks on the floor. Octopuses are very intelligent animals that have a special tendency to escape from traps. And right now, you've all seen it. That's all, guys. Which moment did you like the most? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching, and see you later.